You know, there is no doubt Florida has faced economic challenges in the last few years, but our next three guests are here to say we are open for business. So I'll start over here on my right. Rick Homans is in fact the new CEO, relatively new president and CEO of the Tampa Hillsborough Economic Development Corporation. Next to him is John LaRocca, a senior vice president of Hillsborough River Realty Company and a Tampa native, I might add. And Erika, Alba, public affairs director of Foley and Lardner. Thank you all three for being here. And I'm going to start with the Tampa native. John, you've been here all your life. How have you seen this community evolve in every way, but specifically in a business way?
I think the community has evolved to be a 21st century city. When we compare ourselves where we've come in the last 15 or 20 years, I think we compare with the best of the emerging cities in this country. Our company has been, as a real estate investor and a longtime member of the business community, we have made that investment because we felt that the Tampa community, the Tampa Bay region as a whole, with a current population of about 4.3 million people and an expected population of 4.5 million in the region over the next 5 to 6 years, gives tremendous opportunities to the investor wanting to locate their business in this area. We made the decision to locate an investment on the Hillsborough River in the heart of the Tampa Bay region and specifically in the heart of Tampa, and we're very excited about some of the changes that have taken place over the last few years. In
your mind, what are the benefits to bringing your business here? Yes, there's investment opportunity in real estate, and we're looking at our, well, there you go. That kind of says it all, doesn't it? These pictures are breathtaking.
We think Tampa's a great place to do business. It has a major workforce. It's a very authentic population, culturally diverse. We have a political climate we believe in the last few years have improved. Local governments working together for the benefit of the entire region. We think there's a great airport, second to none in the country. We have a great port here. We have great investment opportunities for people who want to locate their regional headquarters or national headquarters. It's a great place to do business.
Rick, you came here from New Mexico. You were there 30-some years. You served as Secretary of Economic Development under Governor Bill Richardson there. What brought you here? And then you moved on to another venture, Spaceport, which involved...
Helped start the Spaceport America.
Spaceport America, which is Sir Richard Branson's enterprise, right? Virgin Galactica, is that the... Okay. Any chance you could say, hey, come here, it's better. I know you can't steal from there. But you've been here 7.5 months. Yeah. And what brought you here?
Well, quite simply
the level of opportunity that's ahead for this community. It's a top 20, as John was saying, it's a top 20 metro market in the country. And when you look at the assets that we have here, the Fortune 1000 companies that we hear, the recreational assets, the complex economy that's here, we have
so much potential. The port, the airport, USF, the new Camels facility downtown, MacDill Air Force Base, and the strong clusters
that are built around each one of these drivers. It's incredible potential that we've got here, and I hope to be part of the team that's going to take it to the next level.
Similarities and differences between here and your former home in New Mexico?
Wet, dry is one. How's that? High altitude, low altitude.
A smaller state population-wise, to be sure.
1.8 million, the whole state of New Mexico. 1.2 million in Hillsborough County, and as John said, 4.3 million in the larger area. So it's a lot bigger, more substantive economics that we've got going on here. A lot more research, development taking place here, a lot stronger workforce trained in a multitude of different areas, ready to go to the next level. So this is a much different place. Also, one thing that John said I think is important to repeat, a very authentic place and a place that's very welcoming to outsiders and newcomers, which I think is absolutely critical as we go forward, is how we welcome new energy, new blood to the community. In New Mexico, if you weren't born 5 generations ago, if your family wasn't there for 5 generations, you had a tough time being a player.
Yeah.
Here, you're welcome from day one, and you have access to political leadership, business leadership, and it's a lot easier and a lot more enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. Erika, much of your professional life has been in California.
Yes, it
That's
has.
where you started. and you came to Florida several years ago, and I would ask why.
Well, I worked for a company. I was born and raised in California, went to California schools, and went to work at a point in my career for a company called Fidelity National Financial. At that point, a Fortune 250 company. And they purchased a company that was domiciled in Jacksonville, Florida. And they determined that because of just everything that Rick and John have talked about with the culture of business and the political climate, it was better to move us to Jacksonville than to try to move Jacksonville to California. And so we made the move in 2003. And it was an amazing experience because having been involved in both the business and political community in California and then doing the same in Florida, they're night and day. Florida is very welcoming. It's as Rick said, it's very easy to get to know people. They want you here. They value you here. If you were to say to any political leader wherever in this state, I want to move a business here, they would take you seriously. They would invite you in. They'd want to know how you're going to do it. How could they help you? What could they do? When we were leaving California, as you can imagine, I didn't think that was the best idea in the entire world at that point because I was leaving my home. Worked for a Fortune 250 company, tried to get in with the mayor of the town where we lived. Couldn't even get in with the mayor. They didn't care that we were moving over 400 jobs out of that small community, and these were well-paid jobs, and they were good jobs, and they were up and moving, 3,000 miles away, and they didn't value it. And when you look at the political and the business climates of California versus Florida, that's part of the reason why they don't place a value on the businesses coming and what that means. Those are good people coming, good taxpayers. Their kids are in schools. We want more people to come.
And they rolled out the welcome mat here.
It was phenomenal, and I think it was great then, and I think the business climate's even gotten better since then.
Yeah, as an attorney, your practice is focused on business and helping business navigate through rules, regs, laws. Am I right?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
So, and you're also chair of the Florida High Tech Corridor Council.
At the Associated Industries of Florida.
Sorry.
Yes, that's okay.
I'm mixing the two.
Right.
Okay. Associated Industries of Florida, obviously a pro-business organization.
It's a very pro-business. It's one of the largest and oldest business organizations in the state of Florida, and became involved when I was still at Fidelity National Financial. We were looking for some organization who would fight the good fight in Tallahassee. And it's an extraordinary organization, great leadership. You had our executive director and president on earlier,
yep.
And he's fantastic, and we love him. But I can't say enough good about that organization. And it's just our members, they come to me all the time and say, "Wow, we can't believe how much value we get for the dollar we spend."
This week presents a great opportunity, does it not, with the Republican National Convention in town. There's a lot of networking opportunity here. And so, John, when you encounter someone who's from out of town, they could be from Nebraska or Colorado or wherever it happens to be, how would you make the case to them about the business climate here?
I think, again, and I think you pointed out that I've been here my entire life, and comparing ourselves to other communities around the country, we, like many communities, have had to maintain some fiscal conservatism in terms of what government has been able to do in the last few years, but we have a can-do attitude as a community. I've been very impressed when something has to be done in this community will make it happen. All of the city leaders will get together. We have a tremendous communication now between the various levels and layers of government that we have in Florida, but starting from the governor down to the local city council members and county commissioners, we have an attitude of can-do, and we have a demographic, if it's studied by decision makers, is second to none. Rick certainly can tout details of those numbers, but I feel very strongly that our community offers whatever anybody else can. We also have a very favorable tax structure from a community that's grown and has the demographics to support their businesses.
As long as you mention demographic, there used to be a perception about this area that it was an older, retiree-based population. And Rick, I don't know if you ever had that notion about us, and how quickly did you see that wasn't the case?
Well, I saw it right away. And you go to Ybor City, you go to South Howard, you go up by the University of Tampa, 7,000 students strong, right in the heart of downtown. This is a vibrant, thriving community for young people, lots of small entrepreneurial startups, and we're one of the fastest growing cities in the country in the 18 to 34-year-old age group. So I think that says a lot. We're also we are the fastest in terms of declining unemployment rates in the state of Florida, and one of the steepest in the country. So we're coming out of this fast. We've got great rankings from Kiplinger and KPMG and Fortune, putting us at the top of a lot of lists in terms of places to start a new business, which is important to young people. But one thing that we're going to be working on over these next years is developing more of a brand for Tampa Bay, more of a placeholder for these young people who look here and will know that this is a great place to be, to raise a family, to come where there's lots of other young people, small businesses, and that's an important challenge for us in the months and years ahead.
Erika, one more question before we wrap, and that is the importance of, you mentioned higher education, University of Tampa, USF. In earlier segments we talked about UCF and UF, and great academic institutions really support a strong economy.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You have to have qualified individuals to fill the jobs that are being created, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And Frank, I just add on, we have really strong connections here between USF, Hillsborough Community College, University of Tampa, all of these dedicated to working closely with business to provide the training necessary for the jobs that are open.
All right. I thank you all very much. We appreciate it here on Front Row Tampa Bay. Okay, now it's time for the last word, today featuring Andy Cordy, president and publisher of Florida Trend. He's with Kathy.